Welcome to Unit on Ball, and today we're going to be discussing the Dallas Cowboys. They just lost horribly in the playoffs to the Green Bay Packers, 48-32, another first-round exit.
The score was a lie.
Yeah, the score was a lie. Dobbs, what do the Cowboys do? Because I am frankly lost.
For me, again, if how about this? I can't tell you what they need to do. I'll tell you what I would do if I was Jerry Jones. What I would do if I was Jerry Jones for certain. I call Bill, beep, 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 get Bill on the line. I say, Bill, we're in a similar situation right now. We're getting older. Things look bleak, and people are saying a lot of negative things about us. They counted us out. Why don't we make this redemption together, have our last laugh together? Because we don't know how much time we got left. I want another parade. You want another parade? And Bill, there's not another team you can go that's more built right now than this team where I'm going to give you an opportunity to go take us to the parade next year. What you say? Are you in or out? That's what I do right now. Because like I was saying before, what the Cowboys have had is a coach that can put together a good scheme and obviously knows his ball. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. I'm not going to try to take anything from Mike McCarthy. But again, the writing was on the wall. What he was coming into. He wasn't as serious as he used to be. Man was not even watching film, getting the job. And with a guy like Bill, he still does. He lives, sleeps, and breathes football. There's not a question about it. He's in the fucking facility 12 hours a day at least. It's just, I mean, and not just that. This is not the main thing. The main thing I want to get at is, like I said before, what you really were missing with Mike is a guy who's going to kick their ass in shape, and not actually, but in terms of like mentally getting them to a point where they are going to be afraid subconsciously of making mistakes. And subconsciously is the big thing there. And I'm not talking about actually being afraid, because that's completely different. Bless you, by the way.
Thank you.
But subconsciously being different, give me 1 sec. Subconsciously being afraid, because in that sense where you make mistakes less. It's not an accident. It's not on purpose. It's just the way your brain is wired. They need someone to come in there and rewire them where you're actually afraid to not do your job. They have everything. They have all the talent. They have all the scheme. They have everyone they need, but they don't have the mental strength right now. If you bring in a guy like Bill, there's not a doubt in my mind. He might break a few of those guys, but he sure as fuck isn't going to let the wrong ones leave, and he's going to make everyone who needs to fit in. So to me, it's a no-brainer at this point. I'm getting the disciplinarian coach. I'm getting the guy who's going to be able to take my guys to the next level, because it's proven to me that you can have all the talent in the world like the Cowboys do, and it doesn't mean anything if they're not afraid of losing.
So let me ask you this. Okay, let's say we bring in Bill Belichick. What do we do with Dak Prescott?
See that now? This is where things start getting dicey.
Next year, as of now, the Cowboys are $16 million over the cap. His cap number next year is $59,455,000. Is Dak playing like a $60 million quarterback? I will say he played like it. He played great this year. But they lost in the first round, so what does it fucking matter?
It doesn't matter if you can't do it when it matters. Like it's like, because again, back to all these things, like it's like we were talking about earlier. We're not gonna get back into it, but it's like with the Bears, like. It's like you can have all the moral victories and all the let's look back on these is that you want. None of it matters if you didn't win the Super Bowl. Like it's like, so it's your point about Dak, and like you agree, like who cares about this regular season? At this point, I could care as much about this regular season as I do from the regular season before this, where he had an abhorrent year, because they both have the same result. Like it doesn't really. It's kind of like it hits a point where you are what you produce in the playoffs, genuinely, and the reality situation is, as far as we see it with Dak, is that when he gets to the offs, I guess the moment has been too bright. Back to the Donald Trump meme. So, bro, to answer the question, I really don't know what you do about that. That's where things start to get really dicey, because obviously the Cowboys are they're not going to rebuild, and they shouldn't. Like it's absolutely out of the question.
But, see,
but you have to.
I'm not
restructure certain things.
But like my issue with the Cowboys is like, you ran it back how many times with a similar like reorganization of this roster? Like
Gilmore definitely. Also, side note, probably like you got to figure out something where Gilmore's getting old. Like,
and it's just like Gilmore's getting old. Like Brandon Cooks, yes, he had like a decent season.
He's officially in the getting old territory.
But it's like it's and like Tony Pollard kind of stinks. Like,
dude, Zeke. The fact that him and Zeke needed each other. Shocking twist.
I mean, 1,000 yards, like 12th most yards from a running back. But it's like,
but that's weird this year.
Is your offense fucking Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb? Like, that's it. Like, I like Jake Ferguson. Like, I like him.
He had a very underrated year.
I just like, I don't know, man.
I wanted to bring this up too, because here's really what I think it comes down to for me also. Look, if you're the Cowboys and you have 3 all-pros on your offensive line, and your offense comes out and looks like this with your $60 million quarter. Like, that's the biggest indictment. You have 3 All-Pros. 3 All-Pros, and you come out playing like that? It's genuinely inexcusable.
Yeah,
you look up inexcusable in the definition in the dictionary. I think it might take you back to this game. So
I mean, their line is relatively young outside of Zach Martin and Tyron Smith. So your right guard and your left tackle.
But it's like
it didn't do enough against the Green Bay Packers.
No, there's so many things. Like there's so many things, bro. But I think there's so many things I have to fix. So even if you bring Belichick in, that's the problem. I think though, the way I look at it, I would just run it back and say, you know what? My best chance at doing anything is to run it back and just hope Belichick can literally pull off a miracle.
I would say
like,
most
really,
of it is coaching, because it's like I don't really know what else you do with this roster. Like you have to nail your draft picks now. I think if like you get some impact rookies and like get a coaching, fix the coaching, then I think you stand a better chance. But at the end of the day, like the Cowboys are really in a tough spot because it's like you're already kind of like really good. But, like, you've never been, like, great.
No, and I think, too, what I want to say, last thing on, like, the Cowboys, because I really don't want to, like, harp on them too much, but here's the thing that I really haven't touched on, I think you'll agree, is that I don't want to make it seem like I'm just harping on the offense. Like, the defense flat as a fucking Sprite left out on the porch for 2 weeks. You can't, same with the defense. You cannot be the most feared, most electric, most fast, amazing unit, and then show up like that. It's like it comes down.
It's the same thing every year. It's got to be a culture thing, man.
And that's the weird thing is, it's like I don't want to think that falls on Dan Quinn's shoulders, because that's not Dan Quinn. That's not Dan Quinn. So it's like, but what if it's not Dan Quinn? Who is it? And if it's not, I don't even know where the fuck to start. I'm confused, bro.
Is Dak Prescott just another Tony Romo? Like, think about it. Like, neither of those guys were first round picks, and none of them got to the Super Bowl.
And they've heavily, like, overachieved, but then you're also like, is this their ceiling?
Yeah. I feel like we've seen the same thing over and over again with the Cowboys.
Man, oh man.
Like,
bro.
You're telling me if the Cowboys had the number 1 pick, they would not rather have Caleb Williams than Dak Prescott?
No, yeah. Are you kidding? And also, I want to say, like,
and for all of you, hold on. For all of you who are like, that's not realistic. That's not the point if it's realistic. You are paying this guy $60 million. And you'd rather take a rookie quarterback over that. And
I'm not even thinking.
And if you tell me you'd rather have Dak over Caleb, then you are lying.
Oh, back to the Caleb haters. We'll get to y'all in due time. But I will say also, because there's so many things that are coming to me all at once, bro. It's like a Cowboys explosion over here. But also, if you're a Cowboys fan, you got to be saying to yourself, let's keep it realistic for a second. Dan Quinn may not be with you much longer either, because some team's probably going to come in there and steal Dan Quinn away, even after that absolutely terrible performance. But again, back to the thing, it's like I don't think you can kind of put that all on Dan. And it's like I think a lot of teams are going to feel the same way about that. So if you're a Cowboys fan, one of your saving graces this year, you're probably losing also. So it's like you need Bill. That's the point. If you lose Dan, it makes it even more reaffirmed. You literally need Bill in the building.
All-Pro Deron Bland was getting cooked.
Cooked. You couldn't not give him the All-Pro this year after what he did. You really can't. Man literally created 40 points plus himself. But I'm going to admit, in hindsight, and everybody would agree with this, I'm sorry, even Cowboys fans after yesterday, Jalen Johnson was the actual first-team All-Pro selection.
Yes,
I'm going to admit
thank
it.
you. Thank you for announcing the snub.
I'm going to admit it. I'll admit it. I even was hesitant to admit it at first because I got a Bears fan. That's my homie David. He's such a hard-headed motherfucker, but I'll admit it. I'll admit it for all the Bears fans out there, and not just that, because it's true, and this game proved it. Deron Bland did come in there and stain that first team, but you couldn't not give it to him.
Yeah,
but it's like this really highlighted why he came in there and stayed that first team.
Final thoughts on the Cowboys?
Man, final thoughts on the Cowboys. Bad, oh bad. Get Bill Belichick
in the building
immediately.
All right, well, this has been You Don't Know Ball. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment. Let us know what you think the Cowboys should do at coaching and at quarterback. If they should keep Dak, if they should try to find a better option. I don't know how much better you're going to get, but let us know more about the coaching. I really am interested to see what the Cowboys fans have to say about the coach, if they want to run it back with McCarthy, if they want to get a new head coach. Subscribe, bring you daily content. We appreciate you.
We'll be back. We'll be back to the Cowboy saga.
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. I have a feeling something will happen here. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a great night. We appreciate it.